I'm joined by Tom Smith from the Thomas E. Smith Foundation and the Executive Director, Sarah Merrefield. First of all, Tom, this is the 9th annual. Great to see you, and I got to tell you, you are just making such remarkable progress. He skips up and down the stairs faster than I can. I got to go halfway, take a breath. He went boop, 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 boop. So if you could just basically recount what happened to you and how the foundation began.
Yeah, so our foundation, this year is particularly special because it's actually our 15-year anniversary. We founded our foundation in 2010 after I sustained 2 separate paralyzing injuries playing hockey. And then 17 months later from my first accident, which was August 2nd, 2008, my father and I were involved in a serious car accident. That was January 11, 2010. And when our co-founder, Tucker Mullen, and I founded the foundation, it was really started to bridge the financial gaps that people face, both financially and emotionally, that live with paralysis. And to think about where it's grown over the last 15 years, and we have a full-fledged care continuum program that starts from trauma all the way to long-term, getting people back to work and then back into the community. What we've done with our cutting-edge research and these tangible results that we're seeing on these studies being progressing, and not only that, but gaining attention with people. They're actually starting to go into human clinical trials. And then some of our policy work that we've done just to advocate for people with disabilities and really just trying to make sure that everyone has a fair shot. It's been incredible. And I think when I think of this event, this has been just a tremendous driver for our care continuum. When Colin and I met 7 years ago and really thought about how we can really directly impact the folks in Massachusetts and New England from this event, 100 cents of every dollar goes towards impacting people and families that live with paralysis. So it's just been absolutely incredible.
And we are so glad to see it. And you're doing great, man. You are a model of recovery and rehab. And I know, though, you upstairs are determined. You find a way or you make a way.
Well, thank you. I mean, this injury is interesting, right? Because you see the physicality of it. But, when I talk to individuals, as Sarah and I work together with different families on a daily basis, you see just the physical part of it, but I would argue that paralysis is 50% mental and 50% physical. And I don't mean mental that, okay, you think you're going to get up out of your chair and walk, because that obviously, is aggressive rehabilitation and different injuries are at different levels. But this injury, there is a big mental component to it. And my mentality has just been stay positive, control what you can control, and every day trying to do 1% better. And that's how I've tried to lead my life for the last 15 years.
What a model. Sarah, the Thomas E. Smith Foundation, I think is a primary example in the United States of how an organic organization, if you put your mind to it, can flourish and flower into what the Thomas E. Smith Foundation is today.
Oh gosh, you're absolutely right, and it wouldn't be possible without days like today. So as we look at the 15-year legacy that Tom and his team has made, it's such a thrill for me to be part of the team and help to grow it in such an incredible way. As Tom mentioned, we're not only bridging gaps that people with paralysis have today, but we're really working to ensure that tomorrow is a different day for people who aren't even yet paralyzed. And so looking at statistics, having joined the organization not too long ago, I'm now pleasantly surprised to see that we're one of few organizations that are actually available across this country to do the work that we're doing. Only 2% of resources actually go to serve people with disabilities and fewer for people who experience a paralyzing injury. So we're moving to 12 more states and every day growing. So we're really grateful for this opportunity.
And you also look at the family impact of relatives and loved ones. It's impacted them as well.
Oh, you can't be more correct. It's an injury that, having spent more than 15 years on seemingly intractable healthcare issues, no injury is like this that really impacts everyone in the family. Having to be the caregiver all of a sudden when you don't have the perhaps training in that space and really having to change your whole life to make sure that the person is cared for and loved. So we're very glad to have the opportunity to support families as they go through such a tragic injury. Most people don't know much about it until it hits your loved one. And so we're very glad to be able to be there for folks who are really in a very challenging time in their lives.
So finally, how can people that are seeing this get a hold of the Thomas E. Smith Foundation if they have somebody that needs care or just if they're inquisitive or want to make a donation?
Oh, we're absolutely thrilled. You can find us anywhere. We're at the thomasesmithfoundation.org as well as on Instagram and Facebook and all of those places. Just search Thomas E. Smith Foundation.
Great. Thank you so much, Sarah and Tom. Moments away from today's game. From Skate 3 in Tingsboro, Massachusetts, it's Boston Bruins alumni hockey as the Boston Bruins alumni take on the New England Stars coaches in a game to benefit the Thomas E. Smith Foundation. Hello, everyone. I'm John Horrigan, joined by the president of the Boston Bruins alumni, Frank Simonetti. First, Frank, right off the bat, 9 years with Colin Hennigan. Great guy, very good friend of the Boston Bruins alumni and the Boston Bruins Foundation. Great to be back.
Yeah, Colin's a force of nature. He really puts on a great event. This is our 9th time coming up to Tingsboro at Skate 3 and raising money for the Thomas E. Smith Foundation, which helps people with spinal cord injuries.
And unfortunately, that goes on. We're going to be honoring a particular individual today who recently suffered an injury. But for this game and for all the community in what I call State Line, Massachusetts and Tingsboro, it's a great cause.
It's a great cause, and it really brings out the community you just talked about, Johnny. The last couple of years, we've sold this place out, over 800 people, and I believe last year they raised over $70,000 for the Thomas E. Smith Foundation, making it one of our top 3 fundraisers of last year.
Did not know that.
Yep,
Wow.
that's true.
So now we're in what we call the dog days of the season. We've turned the corner on the new year, the longest season ever in the history of the Boston Bruins alumni. Now you guys, Road Warriors, you just got in from Oshawa via Toronto last night. Just talk about the trip, how many hours, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so we left Logan Airport yesterday, which was a Saturday morning at 10:25. Flew to Toronto, drove to Oshawa, played the Toronto Maple Leafs alumni. They tuned us up pretty good. I think the final score was 6-2. And
Non-league game.
Non-league game, so it doesn't count in the standings. You're right, Johnny. And then we had a 5 a.m. bus for an 8 a.m. flight this morning. So, and here we are. Everybody went home, freshened up, and we're back at it again. Charity never sleeps, Johnny.
Never does. And you guys grinding it out on 3-4 hours sleep here.
Yeah, and but we wouldn't miss Colin's game. We wouldn't reschedule Colin's game because it's really important. But it's always also good to play an Original Six alumni team. We hadn't ever played the Maple Leaf alumni before, so it's been a banner weekend for us.
Yeah. And today, unfortunately, the bad news is their roster is peppered with youngsters with professional hockey experience, collegiate hockey experience.
Yeah, we like to call this team professional men's league hockey players. They play 3-4 nights a week, and they come at us hard, Johnny. And the only redeeming factor I can say about last night's game is maybe this one will feel a little bit slower than what we faced last night against Toronto.
Now, I violated the dress code here, my first non-tie game of the year. This I bought once upon a time. I bet you this is 10 years old. But the Boston Bruins alumni souvenir stand has unlimited swag, always bringing something new to the table, and I love that new lid.
Well, first of all, Johnny, that is a collector's item that you have on there, right there. But this hat here is a 47 brand hat, approved by the National Hockey League and approved by Cam Neely. We took a Bruins design. We asked Cam if we could adjust it for the Bruins alumni. Created in 1968, and this is going to be flying off the shelf at about $30-35 a pop. So come see it, exclusive only to the alumni merch table at every alumni game we play.
And finally, our sponsors, Chick-fil-A of Massachusetts, New Hampshire, James and Whitney.
James and Whitney Co., New Hampshire and Maine's elite, and I say elite, John, I mean elite, roofing and siding exteriors contractor, and Chick-fil-A sweeping the nation, sweeping New England. Chick-fil-A of Massachusetts and New Hampshire has been a godsend for us. They help us do what we do, and let's not us forget Bauer Hockey, who has outfitted us, so when you look good, you play good, and let's hope we play good today.
And afterwards, may you have a nice nap on the sofa watching tackle football.
I'm going to make about 1 quarter, John, then I'm going to crash. There's no doubt about it.
Right. So stand by for Boston Bruins alumni hockey.